Last Stand, so many of us feel that the issues that we're concerned about are interrelated, that overdevelopment impacts water quality as well as the availability of affordable workforce housing, hurricane evacuation and public safety, our environment, and just the overall quality of life here in the Keys. I don't expect you to actually be able to read this slide, but after our Secretary Joyce Newman summarized our year in projects, I just had to show it. It's a quick thumbnail overview of all the stuff we worked on month by month. This year we've been laser focused on hurricane evacuation modeling, asking all policymakers to put public safety first and adhere to the 24-hour evacuation mandate.
Stand has remained vocal about overdevelopment issues and the resulting increase in traffic in the Keys. In fact, the 2023 traffic study determined US 1 actually received a failing grade. This is supposed to mean a halt of development until the situation is corrected. However, the county dismissed the current study and will rerun the model. Another place citizen advocacy has been critical is water quality. And as you can see on this slide, here's our board member, Dawn DeMaria, taking water samples in the Lower Keys last month, only to discover one of the worst algal blooms in the Lower Keys. Continue to speak out on affordable workforce housing and development plans that do not feature inclusionary workforce housing or do not meet our local comprehensive plans. In the Lower Keys, we're also keeping a close eye on another proposed hotel vacation condo project that exceeds density limits and the surrounding neighborhood, as well as local building height restrictions. Thanks to citizen advocacy, those plans are on hold for now. As an advocacy group, Last Stand's goal is to represent your issues to the local to policymakers.
The financial condition of Last Stand remains very strong. 2023 was a year of investment in our future, our mission, and our organization. We invested more than the prior year as we sought outside expertise to help drive our mission forward, find new members, and seek new volunteers. Our fundraising efforts this fall and winter have been very successful. We've added new members and more than 1,000 who've expressed interest in our mission and our organization, and we hope to add as new members in the future.
And if you had $1 billion to invest in your area of expertise, what would you use it for to improve that future?
$1 billion. That is so tough. Education and outreach. People outside of this choir, you're the choir. If you're a member or want to be a member of Last Stand, everybody needs to get it and everybody needs to take action.
So I had $1 billion because we're never going to have enough money to do all the resilience, infrastructure, building, construction that we need to do. So we have to do what we can do wisely, make sure that it follows the environmental program and that we have living shorelines as much as we can. It's not all hard infrastructure. Make sure we build a water quality element into it. We have to anyway. And just be careful as you move forward, and keep the neighborhoods invited and engage them because they have their own ideas and they don't always match what we think should be done, and so you need to listen to them too. And if a neighborhood wants a short-term solution, well, then we got to look at that. But they have to understand if they get a short-term solution, that might be all they get. They might not get a longer-term one because there's so many other projects to spend money on that we're not going to have enough. So really, they need to be careful what they want for long-term resilience in the Keys.
I would focus the money and effort in the following ways. A really conservative United States Supreme Court in a Florida case a few years ago was very clear. No private property owner is entitled to any subsidy whatsoever. The problem is we live in Florida. We have subsidized the ruination of our state through low taxes, through federally subsidized flood insurance, through all manner of different ways. You first need to have an ethic, I think. Priority right now in the Florida Keys is to preserve and protect the existing people and existing investments instead of luring more down here into harm's way. Why was I able to drive down here and not pay a toll? Was a $5 toll going to stop me or anybody from coming down here to spend a lot of money in the Keys? We need to be letting tourists and day trippers really pay for their own impact in the Florida Keys. And every dollar spent buying a lot off of the development rolls is a dollar you don't have to spend raising its roads and cleaning up after a hurricane and the other things. We don't talk a lot about the public burdens, but in many ways, every new house is in some ways a fiscal liability for that local government. One thing that needs to be off the table yesterday is any up-planning, any up-zoning. There's no way in the world, when you've got private property rights problems already with existing development rights, that the county or any of the municipalities should be granting any increase in development to anybody.
As Chris had said, the whole world has to do. And basically the range is if everybody just stops. In other words, no human-made carbon input anywhere across the world, and they did it tomorrow. There's still about a 30 or 40-year lag with that. The sea level will keep rising and will keep going. But then after that, you'll start to see, some leveling off and differences. If we had $1 billion, which is about the budget of the National Weather Service of everybody, as well as the development of a new geostationary satellite, that's about $1 billion project. But for me, I'm leaning closer to the satellite, and that is because observations. Nothing beats getting ground truth or water truth data. I don't have a good feeling on where we are with budget and observations. Weather Service observations portfolio is not growing, and that is why we're losing.
Well, $1 billion. I think that's about what our wastewater infrastructure upgrade costs, right? So mine has already been spent, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to go back to Richard's suggestion about the tolls, okay? Take that money, okay, and pay to convert these shallow wells to deep wells and all the other wastewater infrastructure operation and maintenance that is going to have to continue to keep our waters clean here in the Florida Keys. Because it's those tourists that are coming down, flushing those toilets, and contributing to this problem. So they really need to pay their fair share. And beyond that, I would say if I could have another $1 billion, I would really like to get an education program. People really need to know these issues that are global in nature, but they have local solutions. So I would like to take that next $1 billion and start marching up to the mainland and cleaning up our watershed that goes all the way up to Orlando.
These are 5 magnificent experts. Please thank them for the information and for putting up with all of us tonight. Thank you very much, guys.